Hello, everyone. Welcome to another series from Enkrypt AI, always safe and which is never boring. Today, we are here to introduce our head of product, Nathan Trueblood, alongside our founding engineer, Tanay. So, Tanay, do you have any questions for Nathan?
Hey, hi everyone. So I've had the pleasure of meeting Nathan in person. And as everyone knows, he's had a storied background in Silicon Valley as a product manager for all sorts of companies. And he's been an advisor for a lot of startups as well. So maybe we could get into that, like your passion for startups and also product management and how you got into it.
Great. Thanks, Tane. Thanks, Chital. First of all, yeah, excited to be here and really excited about what's going on with Enkrypt AI and the massive transformation we're seeing in the world of AI. For me personally, uh, I got into startups very early in my career. I sort of describe myself as I'm a software engineer who became a product manager by virtue of working in some startups very early in my career. In fact, I think I started working on my first one while I was still at Berkeley. Um, and when I like to tell a lot of founders, if whether you're an engineer, no matter what you're doing, if you're a founder, you're a product manager because you're always thinking about value. You're always thinking about what's important to the customer. And so for me, I had already done a few startups, and then someday someone pointed out to me, "I'm a product manager." I'm like, wait, what? There's a job that describes what I do. So early stage, a lot of startups, some successful, some failures, but everyone is a learning experience. So I did a lot of early stage things like data processing and distributed systems, trying to figure out how can we take networks and computers to process data at scale never before imagined. And I think I've always really been passionate about how can we make a bigger impact. I think that's really where most founders come from. It's not about money. It's about trying to have an impact and deliver something meaningful and working on an important problem. So I did a lot of startups in my early part of my career, and then later on, I had the great opportunity to work at places like EMC. I worked on the Hadoop project and big data at Yahoo. I worked on some of the largest storage infrastructures on Earth. Most recently, I was product leader at Box.com. So I went from early stage companies to then learning about massive scale delivery. But why did I come back to startups? Because I think that's the most creative. I think that you have the most opportunity to immediately see an impact. And in my experience, most startups have the attitude, what if we could? They don't see constraint. It's all about possibility. I'm working in larger companies. You have massive scale, but oftentimes you're dealing with a world of constraint. Oh, we can't do this because we need more headcount. We can't do that because it might risk a customer. Uh, Startups, it's all about what's possible. And so for me, I'm really excited to be at Enkrypt because we're really excited about what's possible with AI and the massive positive impact it could have on business and society.
So the next question I'll ask you is clearly, you have a lot of passion for this space, but now why join Encrypt full time? And what do you think about this space and where we're heading?
Great question. Yeah, I think my first answer really is the team here at Enkrypt is the real deal. I've had an opportunity, especially through Berkeley Skydeck, but also more broadly in my career, to study a lot of teams, a lot of startup opportunities. And for me, what we're working on is a really important problem. I think there's tremendous potential. Everyone's excited about what AI could do. There are also some tremendous downsides and reasons to be concerned. And so I think what Enkrypt is working on in the first place is a really valuable problem. How do we make AI secure, safe, and responsible, especially for business? Because I think that's really where the most innovation is going to come from in the coming years. So really valuable problem. That's why I joined Enkrypt. I think the second part of it is the people. For as much as I've worked with technology at this stage in my career, I realize it all comes down to the people. So Sahil and Prashant are incredible founders, and they really complement each other. And so I'm incredibly grateful to have the opportunity to come work with Enkrypt because I think we have something rare here, which is a great group of people. And the last part of this for me is culture. People say the word culture all the time. Um, it kind of gets thrown around, but for me, this is crucially important when building an organization of people. What are your values? What do you care about? How do you make decisions? And Enkrypt has a great culture that I think is going to continue to serve us really, really well. So yeah, so a lot of opportunities out there for me, but um, when I first joined Berkeley Skydeck, someone joked with me, you might form a business love connection with one of these startups. You might fall in love with what they're doing with the founders, and that's what's happened here. I love what we're doing, and I love this team.
That's great to hear, and I can confidently say that you are adding to our culture. So
Thank
the
you.
only question I have is, how do you have the time and the energy to not only balance your work, but also all the hobbies that you have and all your other passions?
Yeah, great question. I think, I'm an insanely curious person. I think and it might be a characteristic, I think, of a lot of founders and maybe innovative people is kind of an insatiable curiosity. That's how I've been my entire life. I've always just been so curious about technology, about nature, about people, about philosophy, about all these different things. And so for me, all those curiosities and hobbies actually give me energy more than sort of taking away my time. And I think you'll find this, if you dig into a lot of founders, you'll discover that they have a lot of really crazy hobbies. They may not always talk about them, but again, it's curiosity. So for me, for example, I have a bee up here. A few years ago, I was concerned about the environment and got into beekeeping because I was fascinated about nature, but also bees are nature's finest distributed system. Almost everything I've worked on in my career comes down to a distributed system. Nature already figured this out a long time ago. So for me, bees are one of my curiosities. Another one might be I'm a former competitive cyclist, and cycling for me is a great passion because it rests my brain, but also I learn a lot about human performance. And so, again, one of those things where I'm just really curious about how we work as people. So, lots of hobbies. I have new ones coming out all the time, but at the end of the day, they all give me energy. But my biggest hobby right now is, of course, generative AI, making it safe and secure, and Enkrypt AI.
Of course.
So, yeah, thank you, Nathan and Tanay. It was a really great conversation. And thanks, our audiences. I hope they really enjoyed. And stay tuned for our next video. Bye.